Hey, it's Squidly. Today I want to talk to you about the Durston Kakwa 40 after I've had a chance to use it some. So in this video, I want to share with you some of the pros and cons of the Kakwa 40. Now, when I ordered this, I had the opportunity to either get the 40 liter or the 55 liter. Part of the reason why I got the 40 was because I was downsizing from the Z-Packs Arc Haul, which by the way, I still have and still may use. But I bought the 40 liter so that I could downsize and have something smaller. Anytime I'm doing a pros and cons video, I think I like to get the cons out of the way to begin with, so I think I'm going to start there. So some of the things that that I have not particularly liked about the pack, or some things that I had kind of some reservations about, you know, how it would work out. First of all was the bottle sleeves on the shoulder straps. Now, I thought really that these were going to be too high, that they were going to be kind of up in my face. And as it turns out, they're not, but they will not hold a full 1 liter bottle. So it has kind of forced me to change a little bit how I do my water. So I carried the 2.7 liters up here, and the 0.7s fit perfectly. And in order to have that additional water, I will carry one liter on the side. Another thing that right now I'm considering a con, and I'm not sure that that's even fair for this backpack, but it's because I'm so used to the Z-Packs Arc Haul, and that arc feature on the Arc Haul is legit. Being able to put that arc in it and get it off your back, it keeps you a little bit cooler through the course of the day, instead of having the pack basically hugging your back. Now, in fairness, with the Arc Haul, when you do that, you lose some of the capacity. So I'm not even sure that this is really comparing apples and oranges, but you can see that when I carry the Kakwa 40, it is hugging my back, and I have discovered that I'm back to having a little bit of a hotter feeling, a little bit more sweaty on my back because of the way this pack carries. One more issue that I thought was going to be a con, and at this point I'm not really sure that it is. The first trip I had this on was in basically an all-day rain. It rained not continuously all day, but it was off and on for the entirety of the day. And the way the Kakwa 40 is constructed is that the material is Ultra 200, which is completely waterproof, but the seams are not sealed. So it is possible for water to come in, and they're even very straightforward about this, that water can come in through the seams, and so anything that needs to stay waterproof or protected from water needs to be waterproofed inside the pack. So it needs to be put inside a bag. Now, when I was on that all-day hike in the rain, and by the way, I hope that I'm putting some video down here somewhere to show you what I'm talking about. When I got to the end of that day and pulled everything out, everything was dry. There was no water in there. So I'm not 100% sure that the non-waterproofness of the seams is really going to be an issue long term. I just don't see it as a problem. All right, the other con, and I'll have to turn this around to show you, is the stretchy compartment on the back. A couple of things here that I kind of don't understand about it. One is it doesn't expand out very far, which actually might be a good thing because it keeps weight from being so far away from your center of mass as you're carrying it, which can put you off balance. But also, it doesn't come up as high as I think it could. I mean, this stretchy compartment could come up here, and so I'm used to carrying really 4 items, let me start that again, really 3 items mainly in this compartment. Carry my toilet kit, my water filter, and my rain gear. And what I have found is that those two, the toilet kit and the water filter, fit with no problem. I even today have some bug spray in there. But because it doesn't come up very high, there's no way to fit the rain gear in here. So the rain gear just has to go inside. One additional negative that I have is for how I'm going to carry my chair. Now, I think it was on the Fiery Gizzard. I was carrying my chair and I had to carry it on top. I'll get to this in just a minute. But I had to carry it on top because I usually carry it on the bottom and use the straps that a lot of people use for their sleeping pad. And of course, it doesn't have these straps here. And I had to carry it on top, or carry it inside, or put it in a pocket on the side. And to me, it would just make sense if Durston had those two small, very lightweight straps on the bottom to be able to put either a sleeping pad or a chair. Because as I have it packed right now, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, all right, if I had a big roll-up sleeping pad and I had to carry a bear canister, how would I carry all this? I'm not sure that I could. I'd have to find some creative way to do it, or I'd have to give up on one of them. I consider that as kind of a negative, but it's not really a negative for the pack. It's just a negative as far as what I'm used to. Now to some of the pros. And the pros are mostly what this pack really is all about for me. Even though I had some things that I kind of consider to be negatives, they're not features that make me think that this pack is not the one for me. In fact, to the contrary, I think it is. But it's like any piece of gear. If you have it long enough and you use it long enough, you're going to find things about it that you may not be particularly fond of. I guess what I'm saying is that for different hikers, there are pieces of gear that are better, but there's no such thing as a perfect piece of gear. So having said that about the negatives, let's get now into some of the positives. One of the positives might be something that seems sort of small and simple, but it's up here on the shoulder straps. There are daisy chains on both sides. Now, you might think, okay, why does that even matter? Well, it means that I can attach my bandana so that I can wipe sweat, wipe my nose, whatever I need it for through the course of the day, but I can have this up here. I can also have the pieces that it takes to attach an umbrella. And so even with the attached water bottle sleeves, there is still room to attach the umbrella to the daisy chain. And I've got some video I'm showing you right now where I did exactly that on the Fiery Gizzard Trail, and it worked perfectly. In addition, the hip belt pockets I have found to be a pretty good size. Not perfect for some of the things that I eat, but I'm probably sort of a bizarre case in some of the things that I want to put in here. So I still carry the fanny pack in front of it on longer hikes. But the hip belt pockets are easy to operate with a single hand, so you don't have to have both hands involved. In fact, the only reason why this one's over here is because I don't have it buckled right now. With it being buckled, I could do this one-handed, and the same thing over here. It's just super easy to operate, and you can get into them. And so through the course of the day, you can have snacks here. You could have headlamp here so that it's convenient to me, so that I don't have to pack it up in the morning while it's still kind of dark, and I can have it available to me if I'm getting into camp late. But having these two hip belt pockets is a super advantage. Really like having these, and they're an advantage over some others that I've had because they're so easy to operate one-handed, so you don't have to be a contortionist to get both hands around to them. The next advantage is something that there's a lot of conversation about in the backpacking community, but it's about the price of ultralight gear. When I was shopping for what ended up being the Durston Kakwa 40, I had about, I'm gonna say it was about 4 packs, and I was listing out, their kind of some of the specs on them, the capacity, what they weighed, and the price of them. And I ended up landing on the Kakwa 40, not even considering price really, but of the 4, the Kakwa 40, it was the lightest one, which is nuts. So I really like the fact that I got an ultralight piece of gear, and not shopping just price, it was the least expensive of the ones that I was looking at. So the $250 price tag is really reasonable for what you get, even compared to some mass-produced packs that are much heavier. You don't pay much of a cost penalty to get something that is ultralight, and I would argue probably more durable and and what you want for backpacking. The next advantage is the way it carries. Of course, this is going to be different for every person. The size that I got was a medium torso size and a medium hip belt size. So that's going to be different, and kind of how it wears for each person is going to be a little bit different. But for me, it is super comfortable. There were points in particular on the Fiery Gizzard Trail where I almost lost track of the fact that I was carrying a pack, which sounds dumb, but you just don't feel it, or at least I didn't, as I was carrying it through that day. And if you know anything about the Fiery Gizzard Trail, that is one tough trail. And through the course of the day, I was losing track of the fact that I was even carrying a pack. It wore super comfortably. Honestly, I'm not even sure how much thought went into this, but the dimensions of it, the width and kind of the depth coming off your back, are really perfect for my gear. Now, it might just be that they're perfect for my gear and may not be perfect for everybody else's gear, but for the stuff that I carry, the width of it and the depth, it works out just right for when I'm packing, to get everything in there just right and try to occupy all the space in there as I'm packing it up, and I don't have a bunch of wasted space. All right, so let's deal with the elephant in the room, this big bear canister. The question is, why am I carrying this? Do I need this today? No, I don't need it. I have it because someone in one of the comments, and I don't remember if it was on social media or if it was on the YouTube video that I originally put out about the Kakwa 40, but somebody asked, could it carry a bear canister? And I thought, okay, good question. So I thought, well, the next time I'm out, I'm gonna put it on here. I'll just put whatever snacks I have for the day. I'll put it in here and I'll carry it to be able to answer that question. And the answer is yes. Now, long term, if I were doing like a 20-mile day, I'm not sure how well this would carry. So I guess the verdict is still out. Right now, I mean, it obviously sits on here, but I'm not satisfied that it wouldn't wiggle out. And of course, it's framed on here with a trekking pole and an umbrella, so that would help, hold it in place. But I think you would have to cinch it down pretty tight and really get down on it to hold this in place where it would not shift and not potentially just fall off and unfortunately roll down the mountain, and here you are having to go chase your food. So I guess the answer is the verdict is out on it. I'm not confident right now that I could do that, but I am going to experiment with it. Okay, so those are my thoughts right now on the pros and cons of the Durston Kakwa 40. Do me a favor and in the comments, tell me what you think. What do you think are the pros and cons? Did I miss something? Or do you think I'm way off base about something? But be nice about it. And as always, thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.